WSKT TV.
Welcome back to WSKT TV. How are you all doing? I hope you are healthy and well. We are fortunate to have you back on WSKT TV. On this occasion, we will review film action called Quantum of Solace in 2009. This film actually lasted almost 2.5 hours, but we reviewed it with a shorter duration. Quantum of Solace. This film is a sequel to Casino Royale 2006, in which James Bond is betrayed by his beloved woman, Vesper Lynd, and finds out that Mr. White's whereabouts are found on Vesper's phone. Then James Bond hunts down a secret organization called Quantum. Together with Camille, he reveals the plan of the cunning Dominic Green, who wants to control the waters of Bolivia. Behind the action full of bullets and betrayal, Bond finds the actual meaning of this film in the blood of Mark Forster and its actors such as Daniel Craig, Olga Kurylenko, Mathieu Amalric, Judi Dench. Let's take a look at the storyline. Okay guys, let's check it out. Quantum of Solace opens with a chase scene on the Italian road. James Bond is chased by a group of armed men who keep raining on him with bullets. His car is badly damaged, the door is loose, and the road is getting more and more dangerous. Passing narrow alleys, mining projects to steep cliffs. However, with his special talent, Bond manages to pass and arrive at his hiding place in Siena. Italy turns out that the reason for the chase is because Bond has kidnapped Mr. White, a figure connected to a mysterious organization. Together with M and his assistant Michelle, Bond begins to interrogate Mr. White. When asked about Vesper Lynd's death, Mr. White only laughed cynically and revealed that their network was everywhere. Tension erupted when Michelle, who turned out to be Quantum's eyes, shot Bond and ran away. There was a brutal chase that crossed the highway to the horse racing arena. Although Michelle was trained, Bond managed to finish him off. But when he returned, Mr. White was gone. This incident made M furious. Bond again killed someone who was supposed to be the source. Investigation at Michelle's house revealed traces of money from the laundry that led to a man named Slade in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Bond was immediately arrested. Suddenly at the Desalines Hotel, he found a trap to kill Slade, but managed to reverse the situation and finish him off. From Slade's coffin, Bond found out about Dominic Green, a key figure in the same organization as Mr. White. When leaving the hotel, Bond met Camille Montez, a mysterious woman who thought Bond was Slade. Camille asked him to get in the car, without knowing that they were being chased by Green's son. From here, Bond's path became more and more involved in the global quantum conspiracy, an organization whose power exceeds the imagination of MI6. Camille finally took Bond to a small hole. There, she opened the trunk that Bond was carrying. It turned out to be not just ordinary things, but a pistol, a photo of himself, and a murder order letter. Realizing that he was the target, Camille panicked and immediately shot Bond. Fortunately, Bond managed to evade and get out of the car, while Camille ran away. Not staying still, Bond stole the motorcycle of one of Green's children and chased Camille to a port. From a distance, he witnessed Camille's meeting with Dominic Green, Camille's ex-lover, as well as a dangerous figure behind the Quantum organization. It turned out that Camille approached Green for one purpose, approaching General Medrano, a brutal dictator who slaughtered his family, so that he could take revenge. Soon, General Medrano came to make a transaction with Green. In that meeting, Green promised support to restore Medrano's power in Bolivia. However, there was a condition. Medrano had to give a piece of land in Bolivia, which, according to Green's claim, contained the potential for oil reserves. To keep the agreement, Green also gave Camille as a gift. Meanwhile, Bond continued to watch from afar. Soon, Camille tried to execute his plan to kill Medrano. But Bond, who thought Camille was in danger, just failed his action. He saved Camille, fought the Medrano people until he escaped with the woman with a boat in the middle of a barbed wire fence. Although fainted, Camille managed to survive, and Bond took her to a hostel. From there, Bond immediately contacted MI6 to find out more about Dominic Green. However, the result was disappointing. Green was only recorded as an environmental activist with a clean reputation. There is no dark data that can be used as evidence. The only hope was the CIA. Unfortunately, the CIA played two faces. On the grounds of an investigation, they sent two agents, Craig Beam and Felix Leiter, to directly contact Green. Instead of conspiring, the CIA chose to keep its own interests. Meanwhile, Bond was tasked to imagine Dominic Green, who was having a secret meeting in Austria. He followed Green to a mega opera event. Behind the stage, there was a quantum organization meeting. By using special earphones, the members communicated with each other without being detected. Bond managed to steal the earphones from one of the members and listen to their conversation. From the meeting, the quantum big plan was revealed. They built an oil mine in the Bolivian mountains named Project Tierra, a result of a conspiracy to seize natural resources. However, some members realized that their communication was being intercepted. They immediately left the show, giving Bond a chance to cover their faces. The result was surprising. The quantum was full of influential figures from various countries. Before he could breathe, Bond was kidnapped by Green's son with his assistant Heinies. There was a fight on the roof of the building. Bond finally managed to bring Heinies down to his death. However, his actions made him regret. According to him, Bond killed important resource candidates too often. As a result, all of Bond's facilities were frozen. His credit card was deactivated, his passport was given a dangerous sign, and his movements were limited. Unconcerned, Bond found his own way. He crossed the sea to the city of Talamone, Italy, to meet René Matus, a former MI6 agent who was suspected of treason, but turned out not to be wrong. Bond asked for his help in this dangerous mission. Although he was doubtful, Matus finally agreed. Both of them went to La Paz, Bolivia, to dig deeper into Green's conspiracy and Project Tierra. Suddenly in La Paz, Bond was greeted by a young woman named Phyllis Staff, British consulate. She got a clear order to bring Bond back to London within 24 hours. However, Bond hurried to complete his mission in Bolivia before the last flight the next night. To pass the time, Phyllis followed Bond and Matus to the hotel. That night, Bond attended a luxury party attended by state officials. There he saw Dominic Green showing off about the Tierra project, urging guests to fund the monster project. However, the atmosphere changed when Camille appeared and slammed Green in public. Her behavior caused Green to lose most of his investors, until he finally confessed and tried to throw Camille off the second floor. Fortunately, Bond appeared just in time, stopped Green, then took Camille away from the party, leaving Matus and Phyllis behind. In the run, Bond pushed Camille to reveal the location of the Tierra project, but before getting an answer, their car was stopped by the Bolivian police. When asked to open the trunk, Bond was surprised to find Matus in it in a coma. Bond soon realized that his friend was trapped, possibly by Carlos, a longtime friend of Matus in Bolivia who was a traitor. The situation got worse when the police shot Bond. One of the bullets hit Matus, who was weak and helpless. In a matter of seconds, the moment changed everything for Bond. Matus finally died in Bond's arms, leaving a deep wound for the agent. With a heavy heart, Bond threw his friend's body into the trash, a bitter symbol of how cruel the world he lived in and without mercy. Together with Camille, he continued his journey to the Tierra project. Using a small plane, Bond felt safe. But soon the enemy plane came and attacked brutally. Air chases were fierce. Shots hit Bond's body until it leaked and lost control. In the last seconds, Bond and Camille jumped out using parachutes, jumped free before finally falling into a hole near the Tierra project. In England, the situation was no less tense. Prime Minister pressed M, accusing Bond of treachery and without evidence of attacking Green. While quietly, the government has cooperated with Green for the sake of oil interests. Although pressed, M still trusts Bond, although his trust is increasingly challenged. Meanwhile, in the cave, Bond and Camille opened up to each other. Camille revealed his past wounds. His family was slaughtered by General Medrano. His mother and sister were raped before being killed in front of his eyes. Revenge was what brought him closer to Green. Bond was honest that he himself hunted Green to avenge the death of Vesper and dismantle the dark organization behind all this. When looking for a way out, Bond found a secret tunnel. He realized Green did not pursue oil but water. He deliberately deceived many parties to raise international funds only to monopolize the resources of Bolivia's water, the water of people's lives, to become a personal commodity. The fact became clearer when Bond and Camille left the cave and arrived in a dry village where the people were suffering without clean water. Upon returning to the hotel, Bond was immediately ambushed by M and the MI6 team there. Bond received bitter news. Phyllis, a consulate staff who had helped him, was found dead and tortured. He was killed by being forced to seize oil until the bitter message from Green died. M eventually deactivated Bond from his agent status, ordering him to return to England. Bond surrendered his weapon and was taken by two MI6 agents, but in the elevator, he actually attacked them, proving that he would not give up just like that. He found M for the last time. Although under government pressure, M still trusted him and gave him time. With a calm voice, he ordered Bond to run away because the official letter of command to kill him had come down. The murder had come down. Bond also escaped from the hotel, disappearing into the darkness of the night. The chase for the climax finally began. Bond eventually managed to contact Felix Leiter, a silent CIA agent still in Bolivia. In a brief meeting at a cafe, Felix gave Bond important information. General Medrano and Dominic Green would meet at the luxurious La Perla de las Dunas hotel located in the middle of the desert. There, the final agreement for Bolivia's land would take place. Felix reminded Bond that he was being hunted and could be killed at any time. But Bond was not shaken. He knew this was his last chance to destroy Quantum. The next day, Bond and Camille moved to Hotel Gurun. They arranged a strategy. Bond attacked from the front, while Camille infiltrated into Medrano's search. In the hotel, a dark transaction began. Green brought a large amount of money to bribe the relevant parties. Carlos received a payment to keep it a secret, while Medrano received money as a sign of Waduk's construction permit. With that, Green grew closer to his ambition to monopolize Bolivia's water. Bond's attack began. He blocked Carlos, who tried to escape, then blew up his car until it exploded into a gas tank. The fire soon engulfed the hotel, creating chaos. Meanwhile, Camille managed to infiltrate Medrano's room. A fierce battle also took place. Medrano attacked first, showing his brutal nature. But with a determined revenge, Camille finally managed to kill the dictator who destroyed his life. Although he won, he was almost trapped in the fire. On the other hand, Bond fought against Green's panicked troops. Explosion after explosion caused the hotel to collapse. Bond quickly searched for Camille, demolished the wall and pulled her out of the burning room. Together, they managed to escape from the hell of fire. From a distance, Bond saw Green running hopelessly to the sand pit. Bond chased him, caught him, then dragged him to the middle of the Tandus Mountains. In a brief interrogation, Green finally gave up. He leaked everything he knew about the mysterious organization. Quantum Bond followed his words, leaving Green alive. But in the Tandis Mountains without water, only a bottle of oil in his hand, a more cruel punishment than bullets. After Green revealed all the secrets about Quantum, Bond kept his promise. He did not shoot or execute him. Green was left just like that in the middle of the Tandis Mountains, without a car, without a communication device, only with a bottle of oil in his hand, a fate more cruel than instant death. But Bond's mission is not over. With the new information he got, Bond flew to Kazan, Russia to face the past that has been haunting him. Yusuf Kabira, the man who used to manipulate West Berlin there, because Bond found Yusuf had just returned with his new lover. Corin, an intelligent Canadian agent, although angry, Bond was now able to stop him. He realized that killing Yusuf was not the answer. Coldly, Bond handed Yusuf over to M and MI6. When they met outside the house, M said slowly that Bond had finally found what he was looking for, the cover for the old wound left by Vesper. M also reported the latest news. Corin was found dead in Bolivia's sand dunes. There were 2 bullets behind his skull and an oil motor in his stomach. A tragic end, as if the world itself had given the ultimate punishment for that traitor. Behind all the chaos, there was hope. M told Bond that all diplomatic issues with America had been resolved and he wanted Bond to return to duty. Bond stared at him for a moment, then calmly replied, "I never left." With that, Bond walked into the shadows of the night. He was no longer a man who was blinded by revenge, but an honorable agent who was ready to continue his mission. The film is over. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next film review, which is as exciting as Adios Amigos.
Shadows fall where secrets hide. Whispers linger in the night. Every scar a silent vow. I can't forget, but I know how. Through the fire, through the pain, chasing ghosts that still remain. Every truth a fragile cost, finding solace in what I've lost. Quantum of solace. Shadows fall where secrets hide. Whispers linger in the night. Every scar a silent vow. I can't forget, but I know how. Through the fire, through the pain, chasing ghosts that still remain. Every truth a fragile cost, finding solace in what I've lost. Quantum of solace, a flicker of light. In the silence of darkness I still find a broken heart, but I won't fall. I'll rise again, I'll face it all. Betrayal cuts, but I won't bleed. Vengeance whispers, but I won't heed. In the desert, the truth unfolds. Water and power, stories untold. Through the fire, through the pain, shadows fade, but stars remain. Though the night is cold and long, I find my strength, I still belong. Quantum of solace, a flicker of light. In the silence of darkness I still fight a broken heart, but I won't fall. I'll rise again, I'll face it all. Not betrayed, but not in vain. From the ashes start. In the desert, the truth unfolds. Water and power, stories untold.